Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of What's It Like, the show where we ask one big question and some more after that. Today, I'm joined by my former coworker and good friend, Mr. Andrew Hassler. Say what's up.
How's it going, guys?
And today, we're talking about working while in college. For today's big question, I'll be asking Andrew, what's it like going to college and working full time?
Yeah, so it's what it says. It's a lot. That's like the biggest thing you're gonna really get out of it is it's a lot. I love it though. I definitely do it by choice. I want everyone to understand that you have a choice to do that. You don't always have to.
Yeah. And we'll get into that more for sure.
Yeah.
But for the background question, where do you go to school currently and where do you work?
Yeah, so right now I go to San Jose State. I'm a marketing major. That's kind of like the easiest degree you can get. So that's there's your cheat. Right now, I currently work at CarMax. I'm a car salesman. So buy a car, by the way, after you watch this video in San Jose.
He gets commission. Big commission.
But no, that's currently what I do. I do CarMax full-time on top of doing school full-time.
Gotcha. Why do you work so much while going to school? Like, why do you have to work full-time exactly?
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys are familiar, but San Jose, you know this for sure.
Oh.
Cost of living there is insane. That's like the biggest thing. So that's partially why I work full-time with it, is just to be able to actually not only afford everything I do, but like actually save up money for like things I want to do as well. Because I don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck, because I was for a long time.
Yeah.
But now that I got this job and I can make that money and actually save, that's the main reason why I still do it full-time with school.
Gotcha. And I know that like you're working one job now, but I know that you did work two.
Yeah.
You want to tell me what that was like?
Dude, so long story short, for about 3 years, I was working two jobs. I was job hunting around. Main reason was because both of those jobs paid minimum wage, and minimum wage at that time was like $12 when we were working at 27.
Was this in San Jose?
Yeah, in San Jose. So yeah, we'll start back. In Fairfield, when I was just going community college, I was working already two jobs with that.
Wow.
And I was working at Dutch Bros Coffee. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. And then Nike. So there were just two jobs back to back and doing school with it. And then when I finally got to the 4-year, San Jose State, when I transferred, I was working at Nike. I moved to San Jose. I'm like, man, this cost of living is not enough. So I'm like, I need to pick up a second job.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked up this job working at the apartment complex that Nick and I lived at. And it was like the best gig in the world. But
so nice. Yeah. Working where you live is like the most convenient thing in the world. And like on top of that, we get money off of our rent too.
That was the main reason that kicked me in. Like I knew the pay was not there, but like you gave me a discount on my rent. I was like, deal.
Yeah, no, you're saving like our rent was probably over like a rack each, like $1,000.
Guaranteed.
And like, what did we get off? Like
20% of whatever your rent. So about like $200.
Yeah, $200. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
For San Jose, like getting that kind of discount, like I would rather work minimum wage and save that much money on rent than work a higher paying job like at that time, for sure.
Agreed. And that was the main thing, but the only drawback with that job is our hours were limited.
Oh yeah.
So for me, I wanted to make money. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a second job. And then that's when I was like, this two job thing is kind of killing me, because it mentally did get exhausting with school. That was the biggest thing. I was still maintaining going to school 4 days a week with two jobs.
Yeah, I didn't know how he did it, honestly. Like, I just see him, he just looked kind of dead inside, low key.
Low key.
So about the two jobs, what was the hardest part about working those two jobs while going to school at the same time?
The hardest thing, actually, like a lot of people would say, oh, the job part's probably hard. And realistically, no, it's the school. The school is the hardest thing, because you can't get D's. Like if I'm going to school getting D's and lower, like what's the point? I'm wasting my money.
You're wasting money and time. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I have to make sure I get at least C's. So the motto became C's get degrees.
Facts.
So the hardest thing was having to maintain having time to do your homework, study for your exams, have time to still live your life at the same time too, because you don't want to be a true slave of the school and work. You also want to have freedom and fun at the same time.
That's half the thing about college. It's like the experience, you know, and you don't want to miss out on that, but sometimes you don't have a choice.
Right.
During the time where you were working a ton, did you still have like a social life?
No, I'm just kidding. I definitely had a social life. If you guys ever met me, you know I go out on the weekends. But
he doesn't say no.
I'd never say no. The main thing is though, it's finding that balance, because you gotta understand, like, you can work all day long, you can go to school all day long, but like eventually your body wants to shut down unless you're giving it a break or having your fun time. So you still need to have a social life. Like I still hung out with friends. I kind of what made me be able to do that though was you had to make sacrifices, either work less hours or do less homework. And you guys could probably assume which one I chose less to do of.
Same. I'm also guilty. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the main thing though. You got to have a balance. You got to learn which one's more important to you, which one do you want to focus on.
I got you. How did you make time to have a social life? Did you, like for example, well actually you kind of touched on it. Yeah.
But I can get into more detail. Like personally, yes, I did not do homework. That's terrible. Don't listen to that. But I did it. Another thing though was just planning your schedule ahead of time. So I was very detail oriented. I'd have, all right, this is my day where I'm only going to work today. I'm only going to do school today.
Okay.
And it was very coordinated, or I did both. But after I had like set schedules, like between literally the 15-minute mark and this 15-minute mark, I am doing this.
Oh, wow.
And I just had a schedule and I wrote it down. And I just stayed on top of it. That's actually what helped me maintain it, because it wasn't like, oh, I forgot about it. I actually had it written out, staying on top of everything.
So there was like a form of organization behind it.
To an extent, yeah. And like every now and then you'll read the list and be like, screw that, I'm not going to do that. Like I'm exhausted. But knowing that there is a structure and you follow that structure kind of got you in a routine.
That's good.
Once you got the routine going, it's not as bad.
I see. How often were you able to, go out and make time for yourself when you weren't working and stuff?
So the crazy thing is, when I was doing both the 2 jobs and going to school, I actually had a relationship as well, and I still had other friends to do all that as well. So I found time to do it all. But Nick said there's days he'd see me, I'd be dead. I was dead.
There were just days where Andrew would come into work and just like, oh, I'm not going to talk to him today.
Yeah, I'm not answering the phone today. It's just not happening, guys. But like, you just got to find the time to do it. And a lot of it was just right after work. My biggest thing was I was doing homework on my lunches. And thankfully, like where we worked, we could do our homework on the clock sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lifesaver.
For sure. Bless that job, honestly.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons for that.
Oh,
job.
100%.
Yeah. Do you still do well in school considering how much you work?
I plead the fifth. No, but like in all seriousness, I do enough to where I still get the passing grades.
That's all that matters.
The legit motto is C's get degrees at the end of the day. I have screwed up though. I have got a D in a couple of my classes, got to retake them, but that was my own choice. Part of it was poor studying, but I don't do as well as I should be. Like if I didn't have to do the 2 jobs, I probably get a little bit better in grades, but at the end of the day, I don't like school. So regardless if I had 2 jobs or not, my grades would probably be the same.
I gotcha.
So it's more of a personal thing.
Yeah, I also very much dislike school, and I'm very happy that I'm done.
Jealous.
You'll be in the club soon, don't worry.
Knocking on wood on that.
When you're juggling all this stuff, how much time do you actually get to sleep?
So everyone thinks, how much do you actually think I sleep? What do you actually think is my average per night?
You?
Yeah. With my schedule, my school, how much I go out, how often do you think I sleep?
Like 6 hours.
That's about right.
Yeah?
It's actually right. Because I've learned like that's like the happy medium. Like 8 hours for me is too much, but 6 hours is exactly what I
think 8 hours is too much?
For me. Because I read the whole sleep cycle. You gotta do 1.5 hour cycles. It's either 6 or 7.5. But 6 is all I need. Now, every now and then there's a day I'm like, yeah, I'm sleeping 8 plus no matter what. But like generally 6 is all I need.
Yeah, back when I was doing like my organization, for student organization, like getting 6 was probably like the best thing for me too. But after that was done and I actually had time, like I need my 8 hours for sure. So.
Yeah, and then like with 6 hours too, it's like you need at least some amount of sleep. Like 4 or 5 is not enough to do everything that you're doing, especially with like you having a club and working too and still doing school. It's the same thing with work. It's like you need a minimum to contain or be able to maintain that what you're doing.
Like I wouldn't even be able to pass if I didn't get enough
Exactly.
sleep.
You need sleep.
While you're doing all that, like what kind of keeps you going throughout your days? Because I know it must be very tiring.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like I want to make money. And granted, at my job, I'm not the best salesperson there. I know that for a fact. I know I'm not making the top numbers, but I'm doing enough to where I survive. What keeps kind of makes me going is like I like to be busy. You've probably always noticed that with me. Like at our job, when it was slow, I was like I'm going insane. I need to do something.
I love working with Andrew because like if I don't want to do something, like he'll just do it.
And that's
I'm so lazy. Like he's the perfect person to have around for that.
No, it's still the same thing with me. I still constantly want to do something. So like that's kind of keeps what makes me going. And like with that too is like I'm not only doing the school and then that, but I'm going to the gym 5 days a week consistently as well. So I'm still finding time to do that. And that's just my freak of nature of I want to do something 24/7. The biggest thing is I don't mind wasting money. I hate wasting time. That is my biggest thing. I want to make every minute of my day count. That's my biggest thing.
Good for you, honestly. That's a good way to put it. But we could all be better with our time. We could all be better with our money. So it's all about finding that happy medium.
Exactly.
Yeah, me and Andrew are kind of like polar opposites. Like he loves doing stuff.
Nick.
And I hate doing. In terms of laziness and like motivation, like the fact that I'm even doing this show is crazy.
But props to you for still doing this, man. Because like I always knew you had like that heart of like you can do a lot. You're just too lazy sometimes.
Yeah.
This man's talented as hell. Don't let that fool you guys. He is talented.
I appreciate that very much. All right. Lastly, do you have any advice for people out there who may be thinking of working a lot while going to school?
Okay. So my advice is if you don't have to do the 2 jobs, don't do it. Like
Definitely.
100% don't.
Yeah.
If you don't have to work full time, don't do it. At the end of the day, if you're going to school, focus on school. Try to. Like if you can live with your parents and save that rent money, do it. Like do those little things, right?
Especially if you're going to school in California.
Yes.
Be happy that you have in-state tuition because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I also had to pay for
That's
rent.
right. You did it. That's right.
That's a big yikes.
Totally forgot about that.
Big yikes.
But with that, still, kudos to anybody who does work while you're in school. If you're working more than 20 hours a week while you're going to school full time, kudos to you. That's already an accomplishment on its own.
Big respect.
But my advice is to everyone is finding the happy medium, like knowing when to sacrifice your amount of hours for your school and vice versa. Like, look, at the end of the day, you're not going to get a 4.0 unless you're just a brainiac with devoted time. So don't be afraid of like, oh my gosh, I got to be in this class. Like, granted, I got C's and D's, so don't.
Grades aren't everything, people.
Yeah, but like learn to sacrifice in some areas. Like there's gonna be days so you're gonna tell your friends like, hey, you know what? I can't go out. I need to work or I need to get my school stuff done. It's learning to, like you said, to find that happy medium, everything, and just balance it out.
Gotcha.
That's my biggest thing is just weigh your pros and cons on every action you take on both of them.
Yeah. For me personally, I also worked while I was in college. But I never worked to the extent that you did. Like I worked part time. And it was just enough to, pay the bills and hold me over. But for me, like a lot of my funding came from student loans. So that's what enabled me to not have to work so much. So it is very different depending on the person. But yes, finding that happy medium is very important.
Yeah.
And leaving time for yourself is always very important.
Definitely. That's actually the one thing I think I learned a little late with doing this is like I learned that too late. Like I need to devote time to myself. And when I started going to the gym 5 times a week with this, that was like 2 years of after already doing this. And now that I am doing it, I am physically happier where I'm at in life, and B, I feel mentally free. Like the gym is my way of de-stressing the work and the school load. And some people like play video games. I still do it too. Don't get me wrong. But that's what they enjoy. And it's like it's finding that thing outside of the thing you're doing every day that makes you happy because it'll keep you going through everything.
Definitely.
As long as it's not drugs.
Yeah. Don't do drugs, people. But that about wraps it up. Thank you so much, Andrew, for being on the show. I appreciate it, my guy.
Of course.
All right. Do you have any like social media, anything that you want to plug?
Yeah, it's Nick Dineros. It's a YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Hit the like button. No, you guys can follow me on my Instagram. It's Andrew ANDRE. Oh no E W711. We'll post it in the link below.
All links will be in the description below, as always. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Yeah, pleasure.
Let's send it over to the transition. Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching another episode of What's It Like. I accidentally tore down the set before I recorded the outro, so that's why it looks a little bit different. But if you enjoyed what you saw today, please leave a like and subscribe for more content just like this. And if you have any suggestions for any topics that you'd like to hear talked about, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Alright, until next time.